When I discovered Liam was cheating, he wasn't flustered. And he didn't deny it. We talked. We divorced. All very calmly. On the way to the registrar's office, I couldn't help but ask him, "Why did you have to fight for our first home?" "Oh, that?" Liam said it so casually. Chloe got jealous. She said she wouldn't be happy until she personally destroyed every trace of me being with another woman. He shook his head, his tone a mix of amusement and doting. Silly girl. I froze for a few seconds. I looked at his profile, pleased at the prospect of divorcing me. Then I swung my bag and smashed it into his face, sending blood splattering. I suffer from emotional detachment. When Liam brought up divorce, I handled it with my usual calm rationality. As the guilty party, he readily agreed to give me the majority of our marital assets. The only thing he insisted on was our first home. We bought that house when we were 24, using all of our savings at the time. I still remember the day we got the keys. We were in the bare, cement, smelling apartment, dreaming and planning our future, our faces glowing. I could never forget that joy. Even years later, 8 years passed, Liam's salary grew, and the houses we moved into got bigger and more beautiful each time. At the time of the divorce, we had 7 properties to our name. We hadn't lived there in a long time. That first home, which once held so much promise for us, now seemed to be in a bad location, with poor lighting and shabby decor. Compared to our other properties, it was hardly worth mentioning. If I had to say what it had, it would be the memories of the years when Liam and I were most in love. So when Liam insisted on keeping that house, I naively thought that even though his heart had changed, he at least felt some guilt towards me, some lingering affection for our 10 years together. But it turned out to be just for his little plaything's amusement. Not only was there no lingering affection, no guilt. As a betrayer, if he had even a shred of respect for me as a person, he wouldn't have said those words so casually. I took a deep breath and looked at Liam's profile. He looked happy to be getting a divorce from me. A few seconds later, I checked my seatbelt, checked the road ahead. I glanced around the car, weighed the bag in my hand. Liam. The next second, I swung my bag with all my might and smashed it into his face, sending blood splattering. Fuck. Laura. Are you insane? Caught off guard by the unexpected blow, Liam forgot his usual composure and swore crudely. I watched his reaction, ready to take the wheel at any moment. After all, I was about to start a new life. I valued it. Liam didn't even bother to wipe the blood from his nose as he frantically pulled the car over to the side of the road, then glared at me in fury, wiping the blood with a tissue. His brow furrowed. He suppressed his anger and said with great disappointment, "Laura, I always thought you were smart and calm, not like one of those shrews. Can't we just have a dignified divorce?" I sneered. Huh, dignified. You've been planning this divorce for a long time. You can't wait to start a new life with your little lover. You're happy and everything is going your way. So of course it's dignified for you. Your dignity comes from the heart. I suddenly saw through my own self. Deception. My pretense of being fine. And me. I've been betrayed, abandoned, and forced to accept this situation. Why should I be dignified? Is that dignity? No. That's being a doormat. Liam's expression was one of complete disbelief. What do you want? I want to make your lives miserable. I want you 2 dogs to never have a happy ending. I stared at him. I want to vent. While Liam was still stunned, I slapped him again. A loud smack echoed, and a red handprint appeared on his face. Before I could land another slap, he grabbed my wrist. His teeth clenched. Laura, don't go too far. Is it as far as you cheating? Is it as far as you giving the soup I made for you to your mistress? Is it as far as your mistress sending me intimate photos to provoke me while I was in the hospital? My face was expressionless. No, I don't want to get a divorce until I've let out this anger. Liam looked at me as if he were seeing me for the first time, then laughed out of sheer anger. Fine. Fine. Laura, I always knew you were selfish and cold-blooded, that you couldn't stand to lose even a little, but I still underestimated you, not wanting any more complications with the divorce, not wanting to let his little girl continue to be a mistress. Liam closed his eyes and didn't press the issue. All right, just consider it my debt to you. Okay. I twisted my wrist with a humorless smile. TSK. What a touching display of self-sacrifice for love. You'd better show your little girl this battle. Scarred face. Make sure she pities you properly. With that, I landed another heavy slap. By the time we got to the registrar's office, my mood had improved considerably, but it was ruined again by a sharp scream. Chloe, Liam's mistress, was standing at the entrance, her hand over her mouth, her face a mask of horror as she looked at him. The young woman was wearing stilettos, a Chanel dress, and carrying a Hermes bag. Her makeup was exquisite, and even her nails and hair were perfectly styled. She was a picture of youthful, defiant beauty. I didn't know if she had dressed up like this to mock me as the victor or to be ready to celebrate their new life with Liam immediately. But whatever her plans were, they were now in vain. Chloe rushed into Liam's arms, stroking his face with concern, her eyes welling with tears. Uncle Liam, did this bad woman hit you? How dare she hit you? How could she be so cruel? Why didn't you fight back? Liam's tone was a mixture of sternness and doting. Behave. Don't make a scene. This little scratch is nothing. I can't let her bully you. Chloe pouted and buried her face in his chest. Liam's heart melted, and he comforted her with soft words. The two of them clung to each other, a picture of mutual pity and feigned affection that made me sick. Are we getting a divorce or not? If not, I'm leaving. We are. Liam let go of the young woman, not wanting to have been slapped for nothing. But Chloe spread her arms and blocked my way. No wonder Uncle Liam couldn't stand you. You apologized to him first. She was half a head shorter than me, and as she looked up at me with tears in her eyes, her face puffy with anger, she had a kind of reckless, cute courage. No wonder Liam liked her. Being with a girl like that really did make you feel like your mentality and intelligence had regressed to your teenage years. I stuffed the divorce papers into my bag. Then you can continue to be the other woman. Live your life in the shadows. And whenever I'm in a bad mood and feel like settling scores, I can claim back every penny Liam spent on you. I glanced at her expensive designer clothes and nodded. Including what you're wearing right now. The young woman deflated instantly. Under Liam's comforting words, she stood aside meekly, her face full of grievance, and watched us go through the divorce proceedings. After it was done, Liam shielded her as they got into the car and drove away. I walked to the entrance of the registrar's office and took a deep breath. The cold December air filled my lungs. The pain in my heart finally surfaced. I remembered what Liam had said in the car, that I was selfish and cold-blooded. It wasn't the first time he had said that about me. When Liam was pursuing me, he had tried very hard. After 2 years of getting no response, he had sighed and said, "Laura, you seem so gentle, but you're more selfish and cold-blooded than anyone. To avoid getting hurt, you refuse to take the risk of letting anyone into your heart. And yet, it was a selfish and cold-blooded person like me who, after we got together, let down all her defenses for him. After graduation, we both wanted to go to graduate school, but we couldn't afford it. Just then, I received a great job offer. I gritted my teeth and told Liam to go ahead and apply for graduate school, that I would work and support him. The rent in the big city was high. I was the only one earning a salary, and I had to cover our living expenses, so I could only afford a small room without a private bathroom. We were really poor back then. We couldn't afford to eat out, so I bought a small electric stove and set it up by the window to cook simple meals. Occasionally, when I got a bonus, we would go to the lamb spine hot pot restaurant at the end of the street. It was a winter just like this one. Lamb spine hot pot was the warmest meal. Liam would always give me the bones with the most meat. Once, seeing me seriously searching the bottom of the pot for any leftover meat, Liam's eyes turned red. He said, "Laura, I've made you suffer," he said. "Just wait for me. One day, I'll make sure you can eat whatever you want, buy whatever you want, without even looking at the price," he said. "Trust me, I'm going to make all the women in the world envy you." Promises are always beautiful, but reality is cruel. Last month, I fainted from acute appendicitis and was taken to the hospital by a stranger. I called Liam countless times, but no one answered. An unfamiliar account sent me a photo. In the photo, a young, beautiful girl was holding Liam's phone and taking a selfie, looking spoiled. Confiscating Uncle's phone, no answering other people's calls. Behind her, my husband, Liam, stood with his arms crossed, watching her antics with an indulgent smile. The next day, Liam came to the hospital, under my calm gaze. His tone was weary. Laura, it's been 10 years. People get tired of each other. Whatever you want. I can compensate you. Chloe is young. Don't stoop to her level. When I got home, I regretted my impulsiveness. Violence is not a good solution. Life is long. I could handle this with more dignity, and I could get my revenge in a more subtle way. As I was reflecting on this, I saw Chloe's social media post, probably to comfort her after the shock and grievance she had endured. Liam had taken her out for a lavish meal and a shopping spree, buying so much that he could barely carry it all. The young woman seemed to have been cheered up, wearing a little dress and heels, sitting in a high-end restaurant and making a sign with a proud expression. At this point, a certain bitter woman can only throw tantrums. What else can be done? Just have to be patient with a menopausal woman. Among her series of photos, there was one of a fair, slender ankle with a delicate anklet loosely wrapped around it. I recognized it. It was a necklace I had left in our first home. Liam had given it to me on our first anniversary. It was a simple silver necklace that I had cherished and worn for many years. It was listed in the divorce agreement and, along with the house, would soon be Liam's property. Whether he wanted to give it to Chloe as an anklet or put it on a dog, I was powerless. A very clumsy move. Chloe had deliberately posted it for me to see, to mock and provoke me, to win a round. I closed the social media app. I honestly faced my own heart. Yes, I was provoked. Yes, violence is not a good solution. Yes, life is long. I could handle this with more dignity, and I could get my revenge in a more subtle way. But right now, I just wanted to wipe the smiles off their faces. I first called my lawyer to amend the divorce agreement. I had changed my mind. I wanted Liam to leave with nothing. The lawyer paused for a moment. That might be a difficult request to fulfill. It's fine. My gaze fell on the triumphant, smug smile on Chloe's face on my phone screen. After all, I'm not the one who can't afford to wait. After hanging up, I went in my closet and chose a hard case bag with metal corners. I got in my car and drove straight to the mall where Liam was shopping. I found the two of them, arm in arm, at the entrance. I swung my bag. The metal corner cut Liam's eyebrow, and blood started to flow. Chloe screamed again. Liam clutched his forehead in anger. Laura, what are you doing now? I raised an eyebrow. What? Are you going to hit me back? Glancing at the crowd of onlookers that had quickly gathered, Liam gritted his teeth. What do you take me for? I nodded. Good. Then I landed another solid slap. The onlookers were buzzing with excitement. What's going on? Isn't it obvious? She's catching the other woman. No. Wait. It looks like she's only hitting the husband. Of course. I had no intention of a Pyrrhic victory. Assaulting a mistress is a crime that could lead to detention. Hitting a husband you're not yet divorced from is, at most, domestic violence. And we all know how that's handled. The young woman, not to be outdone, argued loudly. Uncle is already divorcing you. We've compensated you. What more do you want? We. I savored the word. Liam and I haven't gotten our divorce certificate yet. And you and he haven't gotten your marriage certificate. So who exactly is this we you're referring to? People around had already started filming. Wow. This mistress is so arrogant. And she calls him Uncle. They don't look that far apart in age. What kind of kink is that? Quick. Get this on camera. Let's see if the cheating husband will hit the original wife for the mistress. Liam's intelligence hadn't completely deserted him, probably feeling embarrassed. He tried to drag Chloe away. The young woman struggled, and her shopping bags fell to the ground. As Liam scrambled to pick them up, I took the opportunity to hit him again with my bag. Sometimes I hit him. Sometimes I hit Chloe, who couldn't help but pop her head out from his arms. Indiscriminate attacks. In the chaos, Chloe lost a shoe. The necklace she was wearing as an anklet came loose and tripped her, sending her tumbling to the ground. The necklace flew off and disappeared into the crowd. Despite Liam's protests, Chloe still called the police. We were taken to the police station. My lawyer arrived immediately and took charge. I'm sorry, officer. I lowered my head in sincere apology. I was so heartbroken and lost my mind when I suddenly found out my husband was cheating on me, that he had betrayed and abandoned me. It was an impulsive act, and I couldn't help but hit him. I'm very sorry for the trouble I've caused. The officer taking my statement paused, a hesitant look in his eyes. Is this the first time you've hit him? Yes, the first time. The officer frowned. My lawyer spoke up in a timely manner. The legal definition of domestic abuse requires a pattern of continuous and frequent violence. My client's actions do not meet that standard. This was a case of an extreme reaction to a highly stressful situation. The officer put down his pen and made his decision. This is a divorce dispute. You should go home and resolve it yourselves. Chloe shot up, her voice shrill. What? He's so badly beaten. And she doesn't even get detained. The officer glanced at Liam's face. It looks worse than it is. It wouldn't even be classified as a minor injury. It doesn't meet the standard for detention. Chloe looked around in frustration, then pointed to her own bruised forehead. What about me? She hit me too. I'm not her family. Doesn't that count as assault? My lawyer gave me a look. I stood up again and apologized. I'm sorry, miss. You were in my line of fire. I couldn't stop in time. It was a complete accident. The officer nodded. Miss, the surveillance footage does not show any intent on Ms. Smith's part to harm you. It cannot be considered assault. Only a civil matter for mediation. In the end, following the standard procedure, the police ordered me to pay Chloe $50 for lost wages and $200 for emotional distress in civil damages. A total of $250. I accepted it sincerely. Called out to Liam, who was comforting Chloe, and pointed at her. Did you hear that? Transfer her to $50. Since our assets hadn't been divided yet, it didn't matter who paid. Chloe's face turned black. As I was leaving the police station, I passed by her. Seeing her wary expression, I smiled faintly. Why did you have to provoke me? We have a 1-month cooling off period for the divorce. I can change my mind at any time. Why don't you try showing off to me again? Leaving the police station, I felt a sense of relief and suddenly understood. What calm restraint. What dignified composure. It was all a lie, I told myself. All the emotions I suppressed now would surface on some late night and viciously turn on me, making me relive the pain and humiliation of today over and over again. People should really seek revenge when they have the chance. Do it then. Do it immediately. Once the anger is out, the mood naturally improves. I finally walked the path that most cheated on women take, a path of hitting and cursing. But I won't torture myself. I will torture them. When I learned that the video of me beating the cheater and his mistress at the mall had gone viral online, I was at the boxing gym. Although I've always had a fitness routine, it was mainly to maintain my energy and figure, not with the intention of ever getting into a fight. Recalling the moment I beat them up, I felt like I hadn't performed well enough, that it wasn't satisfying enough. So I signed up for a boxing class. During a break, the young boxing instructor looked at his phone, then at me, then back at the video. Hey, sis, is this you? I took the phone, curious, and discovered that the video had gone viral. Our personal information had also been leaked by someone. The comments section was flooded. Finally, someone who doesn't just go after the other woman. I hate it when women say they'll deal with the mistress first and then the husband behind closed doors. It's obvious they're still attached to that piece of trash. Girls should really work on their fitness. Look at the original wife's toned and defined muscles. She packs a real punch. The original wife is so beautiful. Is the cheater blind? There were also people who sided with Liam and Chloe. Am I the only one who thinks the man should just divorce her? Yeah, the original wife is way too violent. What man doesn't like a gentle woman? She's just pushing him away. I'd choose the mistress too. She's so delicate and even tries to protect the man. Any man would be moved. I'm a woman. And I agree. Sometimes you really need to look at yourself. Doesn't she feel embarrassed making such a scene? A true leading lady would just walk away with grace. Perhaps emboldened by the support, Chloe started an account and posted many close-up photos of her injuries to gain sympathy. The bruises and cuts on her fair skin were particularly pitiful. The caption read, "Loving you is hard, but I won't back down." I sneered and replied with a photo from the boxing gym. "You're not having a hard time. You're just unlucky." Then, on my own account, I uploaded all the evidence of Chloe's provocations. For example, a photo of her drinking soup with a disgusted look on her face. This medicinal soup someone made is so gross. But Uncle Liam said I'm weak and forced me to drink it. For example, The message she sent me on the night of my appendectomy. Surgery must be so scary, right? Uncle Liam insisted on staying with me because he said I'm afraid of thunder. For example, a photo of her wearing a diamond ring, next to a receipt for $200,000 paid with Liam's card. And her radiant smile. Life is a piece of cake. All the showing off, the smugness, the provocations, including her wearing my necklace as an anklet. I posted it all. The online world was abuzz, and I had to give everyone a good show. By the time I finished my workout, took a comfortable shower, and changed, the public opinion had completely shifted. Chloe's innocent, little, flower persona was shattered. Damn, she's so shameless. So shameless. I'm so angry. She keeps harping on the original wife's age. Does she think she'll never get old? To the person above, don't be angry. Go watch the video of the original wife beating the cheater and the mistress. It's good for your health. I've watched it on repeat. It's so satisfying. This is the kind of drama I like. Raw and real. If I were that mistress, I'd keep my head down. Is she stupid or something? Constantly provoking the original wife. She's just mad. Some people are just like that. They steal someone's husband and then have to show off their prize. There were still some who remained calm and rational. Am I the only one who thinks the original wife looks bad in this? All this drama. It's clear she's not over him. Exactly. She should just walk away gracefully and find someone hotter and richer than her ex to make him jealous. Yeah, that's the only way to make him truly feel the loss. Seeing her with another man. Maybe he'll even come crawling back. The young coach, on the front lines of the gossip, was thoroughly amused. He said that with my level of fame, if he trained me well, I'd be a living advertisement for the gym. Seeing this comment, he straightened up, flexing his impressive muscles and flashing a sunny, handsome smile. Hey, sis, what do you think of me? Want me to help you make that cheater jealous? I'm younger and better looking than him. Just stand next to me and I guarantee. Say one more word and I'll report you for harassing a student. Oh, I took my annual leave from work and checked into a hotel. I didn't want to be at home, where everything would just annoy me. I worked out, swam, enjoyed snacks in the executive lounge, admired the city lights from the top floor suite, and slept in. So what if a man didn't love me? I would love myself twice as much. On the other hand, there were still quite a few sober-minded people online who thought I was being undignified. I came across a video by a popular relationship blogger with millions of followers, commenting on my situation. The most sophisticated form of revenge for a woman is indifference. A true departure is silent. This MS. Smith may seem to have won, but she is still punishing herself for her ex-husband's mistakes. To have such a huge fight after a breakup, you lose all semblance of dignity. The man will only think, "Thank goodness I divorced you." I scoffed. They made being a doormat sound so sophisticated. He's a cheating bastard. Why should I care about his final impression of me? Am I supposed to swallow my anger, get breast cancer, and leave with nothing, just so Liam can have a cool, aloof image of me to remember, to feel a pang of regret in his midnight dreams? But so many popular bloggers were sharing this. Was it really that big of a deal? I quickly changed my account bio. Might as well start an account while I'm at it. In the evening, my college roommate called, her voice cautious. "Laura, about the class reunion tomorrow. Are you still coming?" I understood immediately. The video of the original wife beating the cheater and his mistress at the mall was quite popular. Many people who knew us must have seen it. Of course. Why wouldn't I? But I heard Liam is bringing that girl. Won't it be a bit awkward for you? I chuckled. Embarrassing. He's not embarrassed to flaunt his affair in public. I have a clear conscience. So what's there for me to be embarrassed about? My roommate breathed a sigh of relief. Well, I'm glad you think that way. I was worried you wouldn't be able to face it, especially since Liam was your first love. She reminisced, a hint of nostalgia in her voice. So many guys were after you back then. They all said you were impossible to win over, always politely turning everyone down. But then you chose Liam, and you were so devoted, from college to marriage, for over a decade. It's normal to not be able to let go. My heart twinged. Let's not dwell on sunk costs. See you the day after tomorrow, the day of the reunion. I walked in, and the once lively crowd fell silent. Everyone was looking at me strangely. I looked over. Chloe was sitting next to Liam, holding a small dog in her lap, feeding it butter cookies. I recognized them as the ones I had made. I enjoyed baking, not so much eating, but the process of creating. Liam would sometimes take a few jars to the office to have with his coffee, saying they were healthier than store-bought snacks. When Chloe saw me, she fed another cookie to the dog, her eyes full of blatant provocation. What is this stuff? It's only fit for a dog. I nodded. That's good. Better than you eating it. By the way, the guy next to you has been eating them for years. Chloe slowly processed what I had said. Her expression changed from confusion to anger. Sensing the tension, my classmates quickly tried to mediate, changing the subject and pulling me to a seat. I didn't want to spoil everyone's fun, so I sat down with a smile and chatted. As the night wore on, everyone's spirits lifted. They started reminiscing about college. Someone pulled out a graduation photo, someone else an old meal card. Just as the atmosphere was getting good, Chloe suddenly chimed in. Speaking of old things, I found quite a few when I was cleaning the house yesterday. She pulled out photos of Liam and me, the good luck charm we got at a mountain temple, the handwritten letters he sent me on business trips. So many things, all of which I had carefully stored in our first home. She took them out one by one, loudly and disdainfully examining and commenting on them. Look at this photo. It's so ugly. It even makes Uncle look bad. And this. What is this superstitious nonsense? Only old ladies believe in this stuff. Chloe used her chopsticks to poke at the simple silver rings Liam and I had bought on our first Valentine's Day. A cheap silver ring. And she kept it. She must have never seen anything nice. My classmates exchanged glances, sneaking peeks at my reaction. I stood up and threw a glass of ice water in Liam's face. Are you asleep? Can you control the thing you brought with you? Then to Chloe. It must have been so much work for you. Not only did you pick up a big piece of trash, but you also had the time to gather all these little pieces of trash and bring them here. Liam quickly wiped the water from his face and pulled me aside, his voice low with suppressed anger. Isn't this because of what you posted online? Chloe has been getting hate for 2 days and cried all night. She didn't even do anything to you. She didn't even name you. She's just venting a little with your things. Is it that big of a deal? She deserves it. I accurately threw the empty glass at Liam's nose. You deserve it too. Liam's nose, still not healed from the last time I hit it, started bleeding again. Chloe screamed again, and a few classmates quickly stepped in to separate us. Laura, Liam roared, his patience at its end. All our classmates are here, and you're making such a scene. Aren't you embarrassed? Do you think they'll sympathize with you and stand up for you? They'll just laugh at you. I sneered. What do I have to be afraid of? You're the one who cheated. She's the one who knowingly became a mistress. If we're talking about embarrassment, it's not me. I looked at each of my classmates. If anyone here thinks I'm the one who should be embarrassed, then you should all take a good look at yourselves. The few classmates who had been watching with amusement now looked uncomfortable and lowered their heads. Liam took a deep breath and opened the door. Laura, let's talk. In the empty private room next door, Liam pinched the bridge of his nose in frustration. Laura, I don't understand. You've always been emotionally distant. You were fine when your parents left you. One more person leaving won't make a difference. Is it because I cheated that you've lost face? Is that why you have to torture me like this? You don't even like me that much. My face was expressionless. Oh, and how did you come to that conclusion? Liam paced back and forth excitedly, listing his reasons. Since we got married, you've never been willing to give up any promotion opportunities, to the point of not even wanting to have children. I could have supported you completely, but you just wouldn't listen to me and take a less demanding job. Sometimes you were even busier than me. Even on your rare days off, you had to go to the gym or study instead of coming home early to wait for me. Do you know how much I wanted to come home to a light left on for me every day? That feeling of warmth. I only ever felt it with Chloe. Chloe is different from you. She's innocent and passionate, and her whole world revolves around me. I'm begging you, please stop targeting her. Okay. I couldn't stand to look at Liam's shameless face anymore. I grabbed the nearest object and threw it at him. Are you blind? You don't know who started it. Stop pretending. You cheated. That's it. Stop making up excuses and blaming me for your infidelity. Are you shameless? I threw things as I spoke, and Liam dodged them awkwardly. Why don't you give up your promotions? Why don't you stay home and cook for me? Why don't you leave a light on for me at night? That's right. I've never been what a man would consider a traditionally good wife. Because I don't want to be like my mother. My father cheated on my mother when I was very young. She would always talk about the times they were in love, crying hysterically. She would say, how could he have changed so much? She didn't believe it. It was all that slut's fault. But my father was already on his fourth mistress. When my mother was frantically trying to catch the other woman, my father looked indifferent and annoyed. The mistress looked at her with contempt, and the people around looked at her with a mixture of pity and ridicule. It was then that I secretly vowed to myself, in this life, I would never let myself be so pathetic. I would not trust anyone completely, and I would not be attached to any relationship. So I never had a close best friend, a crush on a boy, or parents I could be affectionate with. But over time, my stable emotions became a stagnant pool of water. My life was so untethered. It felt like I could disappear from this world at any moment. Liam wasn't that great. Actually, he just showed up at the right time. When I was starting to wonder what the point of my life was, he said to me, Laura, love is a beautiful thing. Don't miss out on it just because you're afraid of getting hurt. So I tried to open my heart and love someone. But I have a very strong self-preservation instinct. This makes it impossible for me to love without holding back. I cannot tie my fate to a man. When our financial situation improved after we got married, I hired a maid to free myself from chores and focus on my career. But what's wrong with that? If I weren't a corporate executive now, would I have this much paid leave to get a divorce? If I couldn't afford the best lawyer, would you have agreed to divide the assets so readily? If I were a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids, would I have to find a babysitter before I could even hit you? The door had been opened at some point, and many people were filming with their phones. I knew this would be trending soon. My old classmates were stunned, and it took them a while to react and pull us apart. Liam and Chloe were pulled away somewhere, and my college roommate stayed with me. The reunion had turned into a gossip fest. My roommate was a bit emotional. Laura, you're always so full of surprises. You know, back then, we all said you were an ice queen, that you'd never fall in love. But then you suddenly got together with Liam, and you were so serious about it for so many years. We were also surprised when we saw the video of you beating him up the other day. It was satisfying, but it's just not something I would have imagined you doing. It's a bit. My roommate was a little embarrassed to say it. I smiled and finished her sentence. A bit like a shrew. Right. My roommate said awkwardly. Well, not exactly. It's fine. I said it frankly. I don't think shrew is a bad word. I had only come to this realization in the past few days. For a long time, women have been conditioned to be too docile. In literature, in movies and television, they always portray women who are hurt and feel sorry for themselves as beautiful and moving, even making them suffer further, as if by silently enduring, by going through all the hardships, everyone will eventually come to their senses and be filled with remorse. But the most appropriate response, retaliation, is immediately stigmatized as being a shrew. But when you are hurt, you should fight back. We should have the aggression and the power to protect ourselves. I didn't understand this in the past. I only knew how to isolate myself. It wasn't that I didn't want to love. I was just running away. Liam was right about that. By avoiding the potential pain, I was also avoiding the beautiful love. When I found out he had cheated, I once regretted opening my heart. I thought, was I wrong? Maybe I really shouldn't have let anyone into my heart. But in these past few days of direct and cathartic slapping, I suddenly understood. It shouldn't be like this. A coward gets hurt even by a cotton ball. They're even afraid of happiness. We only have one life. We should face everything life throws at us. Laugh when you're happy. Cry when you're sad. And love when you want to love. It's okay to get hurt. Let go of what you need to let go of. And fight back when you need to fight back. Only then can you live freely and without regrets. Only then can you be forever passionate, forever expectant for the next gift that fate has in store. The days that followed were quite pleasant. Whenever Chloe couldn't resist provoking me, I would find Liam and give him a good beating, fearing he might fight back in anger. I always brought the young coach as a bodyguard. It got to the point where, whenever I raised my hand, Liam and Chloe would instinctively flinch, their eyes filled with terror. That's more like it. In my presence, they were not allowed to be happy and successful. It was too much of an eyesore. A cheater and a mistress. They should be cowering and keeping their heads down. I was very satisfied. But Chloe still hadn't completely learned her lesson. After finding out she was pregnant, she couldn't resist sending me the ultrasound report. Her tone triumphant. You couldn't get pregnant in 6 years of marriage. You deserve to be abandoned. Good thing I'm fertile. Uncle Liam is so happy. I looked at her stomach with great interest. I was about to die of laughter. Wasn't this a clear sign that her belly couldn't wait? Chloe soon regretted her provocation. Because on the day we were supposed to get our divorce certificate, I didn't show up. She was furious and bombarded me with calls, demanding to know why. I was on the beach, on vacation, filming a video for my fans. Laura, how could you go back on your word? I was sunbathing lazily. I'm too upset. I really need a vacation to have the energy to get a divorce. Tell Liam to reschedule. The live chat was buzzing with excitement. This woman has mastered the art of marriage law. Haha. Reverse psychology. As long as I'm not in a hurry, someone else will be. Let's see if the mistress is still so arrogant now. After rescheduling, before the new date for finalizing the divorce arrived, Liam received a summons from the court. My lawyer had drafted a new contract for me, demanding that Liam leave with nothing. Liam had initially refused, and another month had passed. But Chloe's belly was starting to show. The young woman, who loved her beauty and dreamed of wearing a beautiful wedding dress, just wanted to get married as soon as possible. She cried and pleaded with Liam to agree to the divorce settlement. Uncle Liam, you make $1 million a year. You'll earn it all back sooner or later. If we don't have our wedding soon, my waist won't even fit into a wedding dress. Liam gritted his teeth and signed the agreement. I successfully obtained all of our marital assets. The few viral videos had given me a lot of exposure. Plus, I had been live, streaming the divorce process and had gained hundreds of thousands of followers. I did the math, and this divorce was practically making me rich. The day the agreement was signed, Chloe, with tears in her eyes, as if she had suffered a great injustice, bit her lip and asked me, "Are you satisfied now?" This time, after the cooling off period, what excuse can you have for not cooperating? I smiled faintly. Don't worry, I promise to be there this time. The day we got our divorce certificate, Liam and Chloe held their breath the entire time, not daring to make a sound. It wasn't until they had the green booklet in their hands that they finally breathed a sigh of relief. This time, I kept my word, because the bomb I had planted for Liam was about to go off. If I didn't cut ties now, I was afraid he would go back on his word. Although the process of my violent divorce had been very popular, Liam had suppressed the release of their real information, and I hadn't interfered. But now was the time. The day after they got their divorce certificate, just as they were picking out wedding invitation designs, the news about Liam's identity could no longer be contained. The well-known foreign company he worked for reacted swiftly, issuing a strongly worded statement that same day. The core message was one sentence. Mr. Liam has seriously violated our company's core values and employee code of conduct. His employment contract is terminated effective immediately. $1 million a year. Gone. Chloe wanted to start an account like mine. She had just started showing off her diamond ring and her baby bump when the platform permanently banned her for promoting inappropriate values. At the same time, I received a message from my lawyer. Mr. Smith is facing a substantial penalty for breach of contract due to his termination, combined with his previous overspending and the division of marital assets. It is estimated that he is currently in debt of nearly $1 million. I looked at the notification on my phone, took a sip of my iced coconut juice. Beneath my feet was fine white sand, and before me was the blue sea and sky. I replied with 2 words. Good enough. In the live stream, my fans were spreading the news, celebrating. Congratulations, Laura, on escaping a toxic relationship and becoming a rich and beautiful woman on your own. The cheater and the mistress are a perfect match. One unemployed, the other banned. Perfect. This ending is so satisfying. I could eat 3 bowls of rice. I looked out at the endless horizon, the sea breeze blowing through my hair, a light and bright smile on my face. My emotional detachment, it seems to have healed itself, quite naturally.